Shifa and Saif, in the last class we were talking about the valuation of Goodwill, right? And in that class we talked about the meaning of the Goodwill. We started our session with the meaning of the Goodwill, wherein I have told you that Goodwill is nothing but the name and reputation that a business earns over the period of time, and on account of which business is in a position to generate extra profit, super profit, that is called the Goodwill. Now, as per our syllabus, we have two types of Goodwill: purchase Goodwill and the self-generated Goodwill. The treatment for the purchase and self-generated Goodwill is different in both the cases, right? But in this particular topic, we'll only be focused upon the self-generated Goodwill. We won't be talking about the purchase Goodwill. In this topic, we basically will be talking about the how do we value the Goodwill, how do we calculate the self-generated Goodwill. Okay. So for that purpose, I have told you that there are various methods by which Goodwill can be calculated. One of which is the average profit method that we discussed in the previous class. Then there is weighted average method, then super profit, then capitalization method. And capitalization method is further broadly classified as the capitalization average profit and capitalization by the super profit method. So we discussed all these things in the previous class. Apart from the basic discussion, we also did see question based on the average profit method. We did question number 50, then question number 51, I guess, and then question number 52 as well. We did these three questions in the last class, and in today's session, we will be discussing about question number 53, 54, and 55. But before that, just wanted to discuss one small point with you, which is regarding the calculation of normal profit. All right. See, I'm sure that all of you are very well aware that we need to find out, we need to have the value of the normal profit so as to determine the value of the average profit. By adding all the normal profit of a particular year, we tend to find out the average profit for last 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. But we also need to understand how do we calculate normal profit. All right. So in order to calculate normal profit, there are certain expenses and certain income that need to be subtracted and added. So in today's session, we'll be doing question based on the valuation of Goodwill. But before that, we need to understand the calculation of the normal profit. How do we calculate normal profit? All right. So before proceeding forward, I just wanted to know, do you guys have any doubt? You want to ask anything so that we can discuss your doubt first and then we'll move to the topic. Anyone have doubt? Shifas have any doubts?
No, sir.
No. Let's discuss the meaning of the profit or the normal profit. So whenever you need to find out normal profit of a business, you need to do two things. Firstly, out of the total profit of the firm, take the total profit of the firm, and you need to subtract all the abnormal incomes which were added earlier. In order to find out the normal profit, we need to subtract all abnormal gains, or profit. And at the same time, you need to add back all the abnormal expenses. Abnormal loss or expenses. You need to add abnormal losses and expenses, and you need to subtract abnormal profit or gains. Let's suppose for the time being that the total profit of a firm for a particular year, let's suppose I'm talking about year 2022. So for the year 2022, firm have made a profit of, let's suppose, 5 lakh. But while calculating 5 lakh, one profit which was abnormal, that do not generally arise in the normal course of business. See, abnormal profit or abnormal gain basically means those profit or gains which do not arises in the normal course of business. normal, these are not part of normal course of business. Basically, these are not normal profit of the business. So profit which are not normally arises to the business are considered as the abnormal profit. And so as to determine the value of the normal profit, what do? We tends to subtract all kind of abnormal gains. So let's suppose firm have generated a profit of 50,000, which is abnormal. Firm have generated a profit of 50,000 on account of sale of a machinery, on account of sale of a old furniture or any other thing. So this is considered as the abnormal profit, since it is not from the regular operations of the business. Selling of machinery and furniture is not the operation of the business, and since whatever the profit that a firm is generating on account of selling the furniture and machinery will be considered as the abnormal profit, right? And therefore we need to subtract abnormal profit. And at the same time, any expense which was earlier subtracted considering it as an expense, now we need to add back those expenses that was earlier subtracted if those expenses or losses are abnormal losses or income expenses. So abnormal losses need to be, let's suppose abnormal loss stands at 20,000. Got it? So we need to subtract 50,000, we need to add 20,000, and the final answer of the normal profit will be 5,30,000. This will be the normal profit. Got it, everyone? So to determine the normal profit, out of the profit of the firm, we need to subtract abnormal profit and we need to add abnormal losses. Everybody clear? Is that right? Shifa and Saf.
Yes.
Any doubts? Okay.
So what
Saf,
if there's a loss? If there's a loss, will we add the profit or gains, the abnormal profit or gains, and subtract abnormal losses or expenses?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Could you please repeat?
Like here the formula is profit minus abnormal profits or gains plus abnormal losses or expenses. Right? So if they've only given the loss.
Yeah, okay.
So what
basically you're saying that if abnormal loss are not given or abnormal profit is
no,
not
no,
given.
No, sir. No, sir. Like normal profits formula is profit minus abnormal profits, whatever, right? So what if like, in the question they've given loss? So if it's given loss, so should we add the abnormal profits or gains to it?
Yeah. Just opposite of this, opposite of this equation.
Okay.
So if the loss is given, so we need to add the abnormal profit and subtract the abnormal loss.
Okay.
Got it? Or you can also take, see, if the loss is given, you can simply presume that the profit is in negative. Let's suppose there is a loss of 55 lakhs. So we will simply write minus 5 lakh. And you don't have to change the equation. The equation will remain same. You have taken the profit in minus. Now you will be subtracting the abnormal profit. You will be adding the abnormal losses. Equation will remain same. Or otherwise you can take the if you want to consider the positive value of the loss, so in that case you will have to change the signs of all the variables.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right, so now we need to understand, sir, what are considered as the abnormal gains and abnormal loss of a firm. What are generally included under the abnormal gains? So let's just first of all understand what abnormal gains include, or abnormal income. You can also call it abnormal incomes. So abnormal income include, let me show you on the PowerPoint. So abnormal incomes basically include insurance claim of the business, rent that we have received, bank interest, donation, profit. If you will notice, if you're paying attention, and you will notice that these are the income not generated from the ordinary source of business. These are not non-operational incomes, right? And incomes which are non-operational, income which are accruing from the non-operational activities are considered as the abnormal incomes. And similarly, incomes which are accruing from expenses which are accruing on the non-operational sources, like we have spent some we have a loss by fire, we have a loss by theft, theft, loss on sale of asset, compensation paid to employee, or loss on account of natural disaster. These are all losses of the firm, but if you are able to notice that all these are not the regular expenses. These are not regular business day-to-day related expenses. These are non-regular, non-operational expense. These are not non-regular, or you can also call it non-operational expenses or losses. So expenses or losses which are non-regular, non-operational are considered as the abnormal loss or expense. And at the same time, all the incomes which are non-operational incomes and non-regular incomes, like insurance claim that we have received, cannot be called as an ordinary income, regular income. Rent that we are receiving by letting out of a particular space, that cannot be considered as the regular income. Bank interest is not regular, donation is not regular income. So these are not regular income, and therefore these are considered as the abnormal incomes, right? So as to determine the normal profit, what we need to do, we need to subtract all such abnormal incomes, and we need to add back all such abnormal losses. I hope this is clear to you, both of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Saf and Shifa, I just want you to note this down quickly and let me know as soon as you are done with this, and then we will start with a question. We'll take a small question. We'll start with an easy question. Just quickly note this down. Let me know once you are done. Done, Shifa, Saf?
So 1 second.
So 1 second.
Yes, sir, done.
Done, Saf? You are still writing it?
No, sir. Done.
Done. All right, so moving on to the next slide. Please note this down as well.
So done.
Done, Saif?
Yes, sir. Long time ago.
Okay. All right. So let's start with question 53. Oh. So this question is saying that Divya purchased Jyoti's business with effect from 1st of April 2020. Profit shown by Jyoti's business for the last 3 years profit is given. Last 3 years profit is given in the question. So profit for the year 2017-18 is 1 lakh, including an abnormal gain of 12,500. Okay. So this profit include the abnormal gain. So to find out the normal profit of the business for the year 2017-18, we need to subtract the abnormal gains, right? For the year 2018-19 as well, the profit is 1,25,000, but after charging an abnormal loss, one abnormal loss was subtracted while calculating the 2018-19's profit. But later we realized that since it is an abnormal loss, so we should not add, we shouldn't subtracted it earlier. So now in order to find out the correct profit, correct normal profit, we need to add it back. Okay. In the year 2019 as well, the profit is 1,12,500, excluding 12,500 as insurance premium on firm's property now to be insured. Now see, insurance premium for a property is a normal expense. It is a normal expense, right? And since it is a normal expense, it should have been subtracted while calculating the profit of the year 2019-20. But somehow we didn't subtracted it, we excluded this while calculating this profit. So see, normal profit so anyways need to be subtracted na. Normal profit, not sorry, normal expenses need anyways to be subtracted. So 1,12,500 out of 1,12,500 we will have to subtract 12,500 because 12,500 is a insurance premium and the insurance premium is a normal expense, so normal expense need to be subtracted anyways. I hope it is clear to you, both of you. Right? Is that clear, both of you, Saif and Shifa?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now question wants us to calculate the firm's goodwill on the basis of 2 years purchase of the average profit of the last 3 years. Okay. All right, so question is pretty much simple. Let me show you how to solve it. We basically need to find out the goodwill, and since question is requiring us to find out the average profit and then we need to then want us to find out the goodwill on the basis of 3 years purchase, sorry, 2 years purchase. That means goodwill, the question is asking us to calculate the goodwill by average profit method. So let me show you how to solve this question. All right, so we'll start with solution to question number 53. Question number 50. So since question requires us to find out the goodwill, so we'll first of all apply the formula for calculation of goodwill. I want both of you to write this down along with me. Calculation of goodwill. The formula, and obviously we are going to apply the average profit method. So I'll write down average profit. And the formula for average profit method is goodwill equals to average profit of the firm, average profit into number of years purchased. Right, Seth? Are you able to recall this? Seth, is that clear to you? The formula is clear, yes or no? Saf and Shifa, am I audible to both of you? So,
Yes, sir.
Saf somehow disconnected. All right, Saf, are you there?
Yes,
You got
sir.
disconnected.
My network
Is there some problem with your network?
Went off.
Your network went down. Okay. So what I'm saying is that this question requires us to find out the goodwill by the average profit method. So for that purpose, we just applied the formula goodwill equals to average profit into number of year purchase. Is the formula clear to you? Is this formula
Yes, sir.
clear to you, sir? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now see, number of year purchase is already given in the question. Now number of years purchase is already given in the year as 2 years purchase. Question wants us to calculate the value of the goodwill considering 2 years purchase. So we will simply multiply it with the 2 years. But we just need to find out the average profit of the firm. Average profit of the firm need to be calculated based on last 3 years profit. And but before finding out the last 3 years profit, we need to find out the correct average profit of the firm. So for that purpose, we will make a working note here for the calculation of the normal profit of the firm. Calculation of normal profit. So first of all, for the year 2000 for the year 2017-18, right? So for the year 2017-18, profit that is given in the question is 1 lakh, right? And since question tells us that it includes the abnormal gain of rupees, it includes abnormal gains of rupees 12,500. Tell me, Saif, what should I do with this for 12,500? This was earlier included in the while calculating the profit of 1 lakh. Tell me, in order to find out the normal profit, what should I do with the abnormal gain of 12,500? Tell me quickly.
So subtract.
Yes, we should subtract it. Correct. That's right. We will be subtracting 12,500 out of it. So after subtracting 12,500, we will get 77,500, I guess. Sorry, 87,500. Is that right, Shifa? Shifa, are you there?
Yes, so 1 second, I'm calculating.
Then for the year 2018-19, the profit was 1,25,000, right? And it include abnormal loss of, we have subtracted abnormal loss of 25,000 earlier. So now to find out the correct profit, we will add it back, right? So 1,25,000 plus 25,000.
1,50,000.
Correct. 1,25,000 plus 25,000 since it was the abnormal loss. So the answer will be 1,50,000. Right? And same will be done for the year 2019-20. The profit for this year that is given in the question was 1,12,500. 1,12,500. And we did not subtracted one expense that need to be subtracted earlier. So 1,12,500 excluding 12,500 as insurance premium. See, insurance premium is a normal expense, so we should subtract it, right? So now earlier we didn't subtracted it, so now in order to determine the correct profit, we will be subtracting it now. 12,500. All right, now tell me the value that will be left after subtracting 12,500. It will be 1 lakh. Is that right, everyone? Shifa and Saif, is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now after adding this, we will get the normal profit of the 3 years. Normal profit of last 3 years, it will be 2 lakh. Just a minute. It will be 87,500 plus 1 lakh 50,000 plus 1 lakh. So this will be 3,37,500. 337,500. Got it? Is this clear? Both of you? Now we will
Yes,
determine
sir.
the average profit of the last 3 years. So to determine the average profit of the last 3 years, what we need to do, we will simply divide it by 3. Dividing it by 3, we will get 1,12,500. Got it? Is this clear to you? Saif and Shifa, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the
Yes,
average
sir.
profit in this case is 1,12,500. Now we need to just put this value here, 1,12,500, and then multiply it by 2. We should get the answer. Multiplying it by 2, we will get 12,25,000. This will be the goodwill of the firm. 2,25,500. 2,25,000. I'm sorry. This will be 2,25,000. Saif, you understood this? Shifa, you also understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, I also understood.
Okay. You guys are still writing it? You want me to show any specific section of the solution? Let me know so that
No, sir.
I can accordingly scroll up or down. Done? Or still writing?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Done.
Done. Saif, you are still doing it?
Yes, sir.
All right, then do it quickly so that we can move to the next question.
So can I scroll up? Scroll up. Sorry. Done, sir.
Done. Okay, so coming back to the question number 54. Okay. So this question is telling us that Bharat and Bhushan are partners sharing profit in the ratio of 3:2. They decided to admit Manu as a partner from 1st of April 2020. Manu will be given 2/5 share in the profit. Now see, all these information is useless from the viewpoint of the calculation of the goodwill. So these points are not at all relevant. Who is entering the business? Who are the partners? What were their share and what is the share of the new profit? All these points are completely irrelevant for the calculation of goodwill. Now the basically question start from this point. Question says that goodwill of the firm will be valued at 2 years purchase. All right. And 3 years normal average profit of the firm. So that means number of year purchase in this question will be 2, and we need to determine the normal average profit of last 3 years. So profit of the last 3 years are given. 2020 profit was 30,000, 2019 profit was 80,000, 2018 profit was 1,10,000. But in the year 2020 profit was 30,000 after debiting a loss of stock by fire. Now see, if you are able to recall, I've told you that stock by fire, loss of stock by fire is not the normal loss of the business. This will be considered as the abnormal loss. And abnormal loss should not be subtracted so as to determine the normal profit. Since it was debited, debited basically means subtracted. Since the loss of stock by fire was subtracted and this profit was calculated after subtracting this loss, so to determine the normal profit, we will have to add this back. We will have to add 40,000 back into the profit. So 30,000, then we will add 40,000 in it for the stock loss by fire because this is an abnormal loss. In the year 2019, it says that loss of 80,000 So yeah, so there is a loss in the year 2019, and this loss include voluntary retirement compensation paid. See, voluntary compensation, any kind of compensation paid is not the normal expense. Any kind of compensation paid is not the normal loss or expense of the business. And if it is not the normal loss, abnormal expense, it should not be subtracted. But while calculating the 2019's profit, we have subtracted, we have considered this expense and subtracted it to determine the profit. Now to find out the correct profit, we will have to add this profit back, add this expense back to the profit. Right? Everybody understood this point?
Yes, sir.
Saif, is that clear to you as well?
Can you explain again, sir, if you don't mind?
Okay, see, in question 2000, sorry, in this question, in the year 2019, we have a loss of 80,000, right? But this loss has been calculated after subtracting one voluntary retirement compensation expense. Now tell me, voluntary compensation retirement expense, do you think it is a normal course, normal expense of the business? Answer is no. Voluntary compensation retirement compensation, voluntary compensation retirement, sorry, voluntary retirement compensation is not the regular expense or the ordinary expense of the business. This is an abnormal loss, abnormal expense. So to find out the correct profit of the year 2019, what we need to do, we will add 1,10,000 because it is the abnormal expense. Got it? Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the year 2019, profit was 1,10,000, including a gain of 30,000 on sale of fixed asset. Now see, selling of fixed asset is not the regular business of the firm. Selling of fixed asset is considered as the non-operational activity, and any gain arising on sale of fixed asset is considered as the abnormal gain. This is also abnormal gain. I'm sure that you already know how to deal with the abnormal gains, right? Saf and Shifa, is that clear, both of you?
Yes.
All right, so I'm giving you 5-7 minutes to solve this question. Please solve it yourself. Let me know the answer. I'm waiting for your responses. I'll be showing you my calculation once you are done with your with the question. Am I clear? Saf, is that clear to you? Saf and Shifa.
Yes, sir.
Saf, am I clear? I want you to try this question yourself. Saf, are you there? Anyways, so question number 54.
So is Goodwill 1,20,000?
Goodwill is 1,20,000.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Need to check the answer. Saf, you whether you are doing it or not. So Saf got disconnected. Just a minute. I'll have to check the answer. Just a minute. 30,000. Then you must have subtracted 40,000 out of it, right? So it will be 30,000. Profit was 30,000. And then we have added 40,000, 70,000 for the first year. And then there is a loss 80. We have to add back the 1,10,000. So there is a profit of 30,000.
Yeah.
And then for the year 2018, we have a profit of 110 and we need to subtract 30,000 out of it.
80,000.
80,000. So 80 plus 30 plus 70, right? 80
Yeah.
plus
1,80,000.
30 plus 70, it will be 1,80,000.
Yeah.
And you must have divided it by 3.
Yeah, so 60,000.
60,000 is the average profit, and you then multiply it by 2,
Yeah.
right? So you must
Yeah,
have
so
got
1,20,000.
1,20,000 as the goodwill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is right. Perfect. Very good. 1,20,000 is the correct answer. Saf, you are trying this question. Saf, is there some problem with your network?
Yes, sir.
Saf, is there some problem with your network because you are continuously dropping? There's some problem with your network, I guess. I just wanted you to solve this question number 54. All right, just do one thing. I'm giving you this question as homework. If you're not able to finish it now, so I'm giving you this as homework. Will you please try it at try
So
this
my
question
network
as
is
your
really
homework?
bad. I can't hear anything.
Your network is bad.
Oof.
Saf, am I audible to you? Saf, are you there? Am I audible? Yes or no? Say something. I think there's some problem with his network. Anyways, let's move to the question number 55. Shifa, I want you to try this question as well. Read the question
Okay, sir.
carefully and tell me the answer. And just ignore the answer written here because it might be incorrect. I'm not sure about the answer, that it might be wrong. So the answer could be different. Bhaskar and Pillai are partners sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 3:2. They admit Kanika into partnership for 1/4 share in profit. Kanika brings in her share of goodwill in the cash. Goodwill for the purpose is to be calculated 2 years purchase of the average normal profit of the past 3 years. Profit of the last 3 years ended. So last 3 years profit is given to you. Of the year 2017, we have made a profit of 50,000 that include a profit on sale of asset. That is obviously an abnormal gain. We need to subtract it out of 50,000. So the profit for the year 2017 will be 45,000. 2018 profit, there was a loss of 20,000, including a loss by fire. So we need to add it back. So the profit for the 2018 will be 10,000, right? And 2019, the profit is 70,000, including insurance claim. Insurance claim is an abnormal income, and interest on investment and dividend received is also an abnormal income. Both need to be subtracted. 70,000 minus 18,000 minus 8,000. So the value of the goodwill. So the value of the profit for this year will be 26 minus 70, 44. 44 plus 10, it will be 54, then 45.
Sir, for the loss of 2018, will subtract or add?
Sorry, in the year 2018, Saf, could you please repeat your question? Saf, am I audible to you? Saf, I want you to repeat the question. I think there's some serious problem with your network.
So number of years purchase is 2, right?
Yes.
So I got Goodwill at 66,000.
66,000, I guess it's the correct answer. But just wait, let me finish and let me find out the correct one.
Okay, so
I think as far as I'm able to recall, I think 66 is the correct answer of this question. Saf, you are doing now, Saf? Seventy minus 18 minus 8, how much it will be? 44,000.
yes, sir.
And sum total of 45 plus 10 plus 44 is
99,000.
99,000.
Yeah.
This is the normal profit, and to find out the average profit, we will divide it by 3 and we will get the average profit. And then multiplying it with the number of year purchase, 33,000 into 2, we will get 66. I hope it is clear to Saf and you as well.
Yes, sir.
Saf already dropped the session. Okay. All right, moving on to the next question, question number 56. And okay, so there is only one question left in this method. And Shifa, I'm giving you this question as your homework. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
We just
So once
read this,
again,
just read it once. If you find anything difficult in this question, do let me know. Otherwise, this will be your homework. And we still have 5-7 minutes left in this session, but we won't be starting in a new topic in the today's class. Since then the next topic is the weighted average method, and I don't want staff to miss this session, miss this important topic. So we will be starting this concept in the next class. All right, just read this question. If you have any doubt in this question, do let me know. Otherwise, we'll continue from this point onward in the next class.
okay,
Am
sir.
I clear? Okay. So Sumit purchased Amit's business on 1st of April 2019. Goodwill was decided to be valued at 2 years purchase of average normal profit of the last 4 years. The profit for the past 4 years were given. So different for the four different years, 4 different profits are given: 80, 145, 160, and 2 lakh. Books of account revealed that the abnormal loss of 20,000 was debited to profit and loss account for the year ended 31st of March 2016. So 18,000 include one of the abnormal uh, 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 loss. One of the abnormal loss was debited in the year 2016. So obviously we need to add it back. A fixed asset was sold in the market at a gain of rupees 25,000 and was credited to profit and loss account. So any gain arising on sale of fixed asset is not considered as a normal profit. It is an abnormal gain. So we need to subtract it. Third item is in the year ended 31st of March 2018, assets of the firm were not insured. Due to oversight, insurance premium not paid was 15,000. Now remember this, insurance premium is a regular expense. Insurance premium need to be subtracted. right? Insurance premium is a regular normal expense, so it should have been subtracted. By chance we missed it, we did not subtracted it earlier, so now to find out the normal profit we need to subtract it now. 15,000 will be subtracted now. This is it. There is no change in the profit of the 2019. It will remain same. Only profit for the 2016, 17 and 18 will get affected due to the abnormal loss and expenses. I'm sure that you will be able to solve this question. There is nothing different in this question or nothing difficult in this question that you won't understand, you won't be able to solve. So I'm sure that you can easily solve this question. Is everything clear, Shifa?
Yes, sir.
So I'm giving you this question as your homework. We are not doing any new concept in today's session since SAF is having some internet issues. So in the next class, we will be starting this topic, weighted average method. And it will take around 10-15 minutes to understand the concept, and then we will start with the numerical based on this. All right, so let's not start this weighted average profit in today's class. We'll be talking about this method in the next class onwards. I hope everything that we discussed in today's session is clear. Saf, am I
Yes.
clear? Am I clear to you? Anything that you want to ask? Saf, do you have any doubt?
Yes, sir. But it's a bit laggy.
Okay, so therefore we are ending our session 5 minutes prior to the scheduled timing. So just do one thing. Whatever the question that we discussed, I just want you to try these questions yourself once. Try it as in homework, right? And if you still have difficulty solving it, do let me know in the next class. All right.
Okay, sir. So
Okay, so
can you
we are
show me
ending
the
our session.
54th and 55th question?
Sorry?
Screenshots.
You
So
want to
can you
take the
show me
screenshot of the 50, 55 and 54. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yes, sir.
55 is for 55 is here, and the answer of the 55 will be not 33,000. It will be 66,000.
Sir.
Done.
Done, sir.
Moving on to 54. Take the screenshot of this as well. All right, everyone. So this is it for today's class. Thank you so much for joining in, Shifa and Saf. We'll continue
Thank you.
from this point onward in the next class.
Okay, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Now you can leave the session. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Take care. Allah Hafiz.